Hello, everybody. This is Kyrix with the start of what am I talking about? With another episode of This Week in Kyrix. This is for the week of, what is it? Wednesday, September 5th of 2018. And oh boy, have a lot of things happened. What are you doing? No, get that out from there. I keep moving it for a reason, shithead. Before I started this, Willow has this little mouse toy on a stick. Literally, it's a stick. It's not even so much a handle as it is a stick with a mouse bungeed to it that I got from Walmart. No, that's how it got tangled in the first place. It got tangled in the wheel of my office chair. Make me take it away from you. Hold on. Here, play with your pom-pom. This you can play with wherever you like. But yeah, it had some pom-poms and a mouse on it, and she ripped the pom-poms off. And the mouse is still tied to it. And it was tangled up, and I had to spend a good minute and a half untangling it because, you know, cat toys. And baked potatoes. Okay, that's a thing. One of the things I did is I wanted to get it far away from the chair before I started recording, because otherwise it would absolutely get underfoot, because, you know, Willow. It's kind of what she does. She gets underfoot all the time. Well, I keep forgetting that Willow fetches. Because she does. She actually fetches, and it's really cute to watch. If you've never seen a cat fetch, I don't know what it is. It's because they're cats. Cats have a reputation for being fucking cats, you know. Nope, that's going down. We're not fucking with downtown. But, I mean, you watch a dog fetch, and it's expected. You watch a cat fetch, and it blows your goddamn mind. But I kept tossing the mouse part of her toy off near my door, hoping she'd go play with it over there, forgetting that Willow is a one-track mind, heavily fixated cat. I threw the mouse and thought nothing of it, and right before I started recording, I looked down, and there it is. I'm thinking, oh no, I didn't throw the mouse. I throw the mouse, and then I feel it at my feet. I throw it again. Here, every time I throw it, she grabs it in her mouth and drops it at my feet so that I'll throw it again. Willow is the cutest goddamn thing sometimes. She, one day, this was like 3-4 weeks ago, it was definitely in August, but I'm out there, that's what it was, I was cutting potatoes for french fries in the kitchen, and I hear her cry. Willow has a very distinct cry. They all do, really. But Willow has this kind of a musical cry. It sounds like she's singing, you know? You know how some cats sound like they sing when they meow? Willow's one of those cats. In addition to being one of those cats, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, you've never had one of those cats. But yeah, Willow is, by any definition, one of those cats. So I hear her crying, and of course, I'm talking to her. I'm like, nah, right now, sweetie, you know, thinking nothing of it. Because Willow likes to make noise. She's a noisy thing. So I, of course, continue cutting potatoes because I don't want to be hungry all day. And those potatoes are going to go in the deep fryer and contribute to my food, and so on. So I hear her meow a couple times, and I talk to her, and I just, you know, put it out of my mind, because cats talk. It's one of the things they do. And then, before I know it, here she is, with her mouse in her mouth, dragging the stick behind her, but she brought it into the kitchen so that I would play with her. So, when a cat brings you a toy to play with them, you stop and you play with your cat. Because if they go through all the trouble of literally fetching without you even throwing, they deserve at least a little bit of playtime. So, anyway. I'm stupid. I did a dumb thing. I lost my debit card. I have it now, a different one. But during one of my trips down to Largo with my new bus pass, I'm out almost every day using it for something or other. But one of my trips to Largo, on the way home, I got sidetracked for some reason. Something distracted me, as it does. I'm a very distractible person, you may have noticed. My commentary gets quickly derailed. But anyway, I, of course, was distracted, because that's what I do, and left my debit card on the bus, because, you know, if you want competence, you've come to the wrong place. So, being me, I didn't want to go all the way back to Grand Central Station, which is the last place it could have been, in the hopes that I dropped it on the ground, and try and get them to phone in the most recent bus that had brought me back, which that was probably the last run of the night for that bus, so I probably wouldn't have been able to get it anyway. So I immediately phone in, or I tried to go online, but it wouldn't do it, but I phone in my debit card, and you may recall my phone's kind of crap, but I powered through it. I phoned in the debit card and got it swapped out, and they canceled it for me because, you know, reasons. And, oh, Jesus. And it went in the mail. Well, unfortunately, it's Labor Day weekend, you know, so... This was, I think, on a Monday. I remember what it was. I think I was... No, it was Monday. It was all on a Monday. Because I had to get home to do recording with Eisen, which ended up not happening. I don't think it happened anyway. And then Tuesday, the thing with the dogs happened, so... Because I missed Pokemon. And I'm pretty sure I talked about it last week, but I'll discuss it again. My friend's dogs, 2 of them were poisoned. Like, one of them severely, like, they thought he was going to die, poisoned. Both of them pulled through. They're both home. I actually visited them a couple days ago. And it was nice to see them, mostly because I didn't get to see them while they were at the vet. But I went over there. I also had to pick up money, because the debit card thing. Basically what happened was... I'm sitting here with $200-something in my bank account and no food in the house. And nothing I can do about that. Because, what are these? Oh, rosebush, nice. So, I don't have any way to access my money, and at this point, it's Saturday night. So, Sunday, it's gonna be, you know, closed. And Labor Day, it's almost certainly going to be closed, so I don't have access to my money. So I basically tell my aunt, is there any way I could come down there? Or I asked her if there's any way she could send it to Walmart. Just give me $10 and I'll pay her back when I get my card. You do not know the unique flavor of humiliation that comes from having money but unable to touch it, so you have to borrow money. I've had it happen a couple times, actually. It's really fucking goofy. But what can you do? So anyway, I'm down there. I do the visit the pets thing. She comes to pick me up, and she was going to take me to the bus stop. Turns out there was a closer one. But she's on the phone with my aunt, who lives elsewhere in the country, who had a good run at a casino and was giving her back some money she owed. So my aunt decided to hook me up, and I, rather than borrowing $10, was given $25. So that actually helped me quite a bit. So. Interesting. I can hear. And up there you are, you shithead. God damn it, why'd you land on me, asshole? But yeah, long story short, I got a little extra money, which was nice. So, I went to see the Happy Time Murders, which I mentioned. And I also mentioned that I was looking into this thing. God damn it, where you brought the mouse, too? I'll play with you in a little bit, sweetheart. I was looking into this thing called AMC's A-List. And I am no longer looking into it, I now have it. which actually led to a real funny story. I had my friend take me up there to the movie theater when he came over, I want to say Monday, to help me with something. I wanted him to take me up there so that I could ask them how A-list worked, because that is of distinct interest to me, as you might guess. And they confirmed that that is exactly... Hold on. How that works. Get that out from under there. I'm about to lock this up and you can have it when I'm done recording. So anyway, basically I get 3 free movies a week, which is really fun. I actually just came back from a movie, and yesterday I watched one as well. So what happened was I asked him, like I said, to take me up there, and he did, but because I've only ever gone there via a bike, I didn't know where parking was. Pumpkins. Willow! Give me this. Oh, sorry, Maya. Alright, this is going away. You can have it when I'm done. Tangling up my damn feet with the mouse, because she wants to play. I don't blame her for wanting to play. She's a kitty cat. She's a baby. She likes to play. And she loves her daddy, so it only makes sense that she'd want to play with me. God damn it, I forgot to do that. Oh, I forgot that was the thing I had now. But anyway, I went yesterday to see The Meg in D-Box, which is... I tried looking up what D-Box was, and everything was wholly unhelpful. I literally watched a frickin' 3-minute video that was all these things they were saying about D-Box without ever once telling me what it is. D-Box is this little special seat you sit in that moves alongside the camera. Like, if the camera pans down, your seat moves down. It's kind of a simulatory thing to make you feel like you're in the movie. And it's really cool, actually. Ooh, there we go. I go get some melons as... And I was sitting there watching this, and I'm thinking, oh, this would be the coolest goddamn thing in the world to watch a Star Trek movie in D-Box. You know what I mean? And it almost certainly would. It would be really fucking cool. But the only movies we're likely to see for a while are the Star Trek reboot, the Kelvin universe, as it's apparently called. Which, I mean, I do not begrudge anyone their Kelvin universe Star Trek. If that's your jam, that's your jam. I'm not going to complain. You do you. I'm glad you have a Star Trek. I just don't give a shit. You know? It's not me. And I've been asked a couple times, like, Kyrix, why won't you see the movies? I'm like, here's why. And I think it's a good enough reason. It's a little petty, but it's a good enough reason for me. And that reason is, quite simply, I don't like the Kirk era. You know, I've never super cared for the Kirk era of Star Trek. As strange as that sounds, it's just not me. It's not my Trek. I grew up with The Next Generation, and, well, you know, I grew up with The Next Gen, and I have decided that DS9 is, in fact, my Star Trek. Yeah, this will work. So, I don't much care for Kirk's Trek. And, you know, everyone has their own Star Trek. If you like Kirk Trek, that's great. If you don't, then you're like me. You know, you just don't like Kirk Trek. I don't hate it. I don't think that it's an abomination unto Star Trek or anything stupid like that. Did he just get faster? Little bastard got faster. Oh dear. I am now trapped in here. And what's worse, I think I hear one of those axe villagers. But, and they're like, well, my response to that of the whole Kirk Trek thing is if I didn't like Kirk Trek when it was Shatner and Nimoy and Kelly and, you know, the Kirk crew, Jesus. Why would I like it with these people I don't know? You know, why all of a sudden would I be like, oh, well, this is a reboot? No, I didn't like the era then, I don't like it now. And the fact that it's an alternate timeline makes me even less invested in it, you know? I mean, I know fans like the Mirror Universe, but I wouldn't necessarily watch Mirror Universe Trek. Because the Mirror Universe is, by design, a shithole. Fuck do I get out of this stupid valley? Oh, I know what the problem is. I'm on the other side, I think. But, yeah, I didn't care about it when it was Kirk. Why would I care about it when it's Pine? And from what I understand, it's got a lot of trouble right now, because I don't know who Chris Hemsworth played, but apparently he was on the cast, and he's not coming back because of contract things, which, you know, I always hate when that becomes a thing, like, well, I'm not going to play it because contract. Just... That's the reason we've had 3 different Hulks. You know? And Chris Pine, who I do know who he plays, he's Kirk. He's the new Kirk. For the same reason I'm going to come back. And the guy who played Chekhov can't come back because he died in a car accident. Which is... That really sucks, you know? But it is what it is. So, I mean, you've got all this crap going on, so... I've heard there is, in fact, going to be a new Trek movie, but it's going to be just nightmarish. And I've heard we're getting a new Star Trek show about Patrick Stewart. You know, we're getting Picard back, and everyone's excited, like, oh, Picard, Picard. And I'm thinking, you're not going to like it, you know? I mean, Star Trek fans are not as bad as Star Wars fans, but they're not much better. And if you doubt that, go into any Star Trek group and watch people try to talk about Discovery. Because so many people have valid and invalid reasons to be pissed off about Discovery. My reason that I'm pissed off about Discovery is the fact that... Fucking creepers. Is the fact that it's hidden behind a goddamn paywall. And I love this. Someone tried to explain to me why it's not that big a deal that it's hidden behind a paywall. And their example basically... What? Where am I? Can I circle around to the fucking thing again? I totally goddamn did. God damn it. Fucking shit. It's going to actually be daytime by the time I get back. And then I won't need to be back, will I? But, yep, I fucking did it. I honestly have half a mind to go back and turn on safe. But, But someone tried to explain to me why it wasn't a big deal that it's behind a paywall, and they're like, well, Netflix is this much. I'm like, yeah, I don't have Netflix either. And the thing that pissed me off is they suggested I scumbag it. And then they got mad when I used that term. Basically said, well, what you do is you sign up for the 1-week trial and you just binge watch Discovery and then you don't buy it. No. I mean, you don't fucking have a trial to watch one thing and then get rid of it. You have a trial to legitimately try to have the thing. You know? Like, I had a World of Warcraft trial back during City Heroes. I had a trial for City Heroes and a trial for World of Warcraft. I had the money to get one MMO. And I chose City Heroes. Because I wasn't even going to do the World of Warcraft one. I saw City Heroes, and I'm like, ooh, I have money now. I can afford this. My computer can run this. Barely. But it could run it. So I'm going to get this game for myself. And then get horribly goddamn lost. I'm nowhere near where I should be. But, when I was starting that, I told my friend, oh, I've got a City Heroes thing. I'm going to start playing City Heroes. And she suggested, well, I can get you a World of Warcraft trial. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't particularly care for World of Warcraft, but maybe when you play with me, it'll be fun. You know? God damn it. Stop. Oh, it's one of these. What, just because you're a little kid, I'm not going to kill you? Fuck no. But yeah, she's, I told her, you show me the ropes, etc. Sell me on the game, I'll play World of Warcraft with you. Well, what she expected was to just drop me in this game and leave me to my own fucking devices, and I'm like, no. We played for, I want to say, an hour or two, maybe? And then she's like, okay, I'm going to switch characters. I'm like, alright, I'm going back to City Heroes then. Because I don't know this fucking game. I had no intention of playing it. If I played it, I would play it to play with her. And then, where the fuck is my house? It's goddamn Sky Island. Shouldn't have this much trouble finding it. But yeah, she signed off, so I signed off, and I went back to City Heroes. And then I kept, every time I saw her, I'm like, oh, are we going to play World of Warcraft? No. Okay, then I'll keep playing City Heroes. Hey, I'm about to log into one of the MMOs. Are we going to play together? No. Okay, City Heroes. The end result is I played World of Warcraft's trial for maybe 6 hours. You know? Because I had it to play with one person, and that person didn't want to play. So I didn't. But yeah, this person's telling me, oh, you get the trial, you binge watch that. I'm like, okay. What happens when Season 2 comes out? Do I do the same shit? Just, no. You okay, pupper? She whooping your ass? But, anyway. So, I now have a fishing rod of my very own. I wanted to get a green one, but we didn't really have any. And I wanted to get a specific type of reel, like, I think it's called a spin cast. And my friend hates it. And everyone keeps saying, like, oh, that's not what the professionals use. Well, I'm not a professional fisherman, so fuck you. You know, it's what I use. It's what I was raised on. It's what I'm comfortable with. And it's my money, so I bought it. And we literally built it. We assembled it. Because we found a green rod. It's not the color green that I like, but Hey, it beats having a rod that's not a color that I like. And, I don't know where I live now. Let's eat my bread. Bread, bread, bread. And, so we bought the rod, we bought the reel, and then he made me buy line. He wanted me to have specific line, you know. So I bought that, and it ended up... The rod and reel together came out cheaper than I was expecting to pay. And then the frickin' line put it over what I was expecting to pay. But whatever. I actually was going to buy some bait tonight, some frozen bait. I don't know when we're going to go fishing, but I want to be ready when we do. Because I don't want to have, fishing happen because I said I'd get the bait. And then, oh, we can't fishing now because I spent the bait money. No, we're not going to do that shit. I will find my house. There it is, I think. No. Yes. There it is. Perfect. But after my movie, which was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I wanted to see that again. In case you're wondering what movie number 2 was, or movie number 3 was, because 1 was The Meg, 2 was Jurassic World, and 3 is going to be Peppermint, which I will see tomorrow. From the looks of it, Peppermint is made by the people who made Taken, and it looks to be a cross of The Brave One and Law Abiding Citizen. When I went to see The Meg, they had a preview for it again, which I've seen the preview before. But this one girl in the theater was like, oh, it's like Law Abiding Citizen. I'm like, with a bit of The Brave One mixed in. And she's like, yeah, that makes sense. And it looks really good. I mean, I've been seeing the trailer a couple times already. I've seen it in like 3 movies, I think, at least. And it comes out Friday, which means it'll be out Thursday. So I'm going to go see it, because why the hell wouldn't I? And that'll be my 3rd movie. And then on Friday, I get 3 more movies, and the plan for that is to see Axel, Alpha, and then The Predator, the new Predator movie, called The Predator. And those will be my 3 for that week, and we'll just kind of wing it from there. Probably see the Happy Time Murders again, maybe watch The Meg again, all sorts of fun shit. Baked potatoes. Wait, give me those seeds. Actually, give me the steak, too. I want the wood. That'll do. But, see, I'm loving A-List, because for $20 a month, it is my entertainment budget for the month. Every three times a week, I can see a movie for free. And I can skip the fucking line. Oh my god. I knew I could jump to a front of the line, because A-List and Premium, Stubs Premium, that is to say, which I had the original Stubs, but now I think I also have Premium because of A-List. But I knew that Premium, or Stubs Premium and A-List had their own line that I could jump to, so I went to see the Meg, and they're like, oh, here's this line, and there were a couple people in it. I got to the counter, and I, I almost said predestined, I swear to God. I had reserved, because you get 3 reserves at a time. And I don't mean 3 reserves like, oh, I've used them for the week. No. I reserve a movie until I see it, and then that slot opens up again. So I actually have it so that tomorrow night at 7, I can go see Peppermint. Just flat out. Just no ifs, ands, or buts. I walk in and go see Peppermint. Well, I had reserved the Meg that night, and I had the ticket on my phone. So I get up to the counter expecting her to scan. It's like, oh no, you just take this and go straight to the ticket taker, basically. So I can literally skip the lines. And that's pretty goddamn cool, just in general. Don't know how long I'll be planting beetroots, considering how that soup takes up so much inventory space and does so little for me. But we'll see. So, yeah, when I use A-list, I skip the line, and that's just so cool. It saves me so much time. And, again, $20. I want to point out that the first movie I saw was the Meg in D-Box. My A-list cost, I'm just going to throw out a number, I'm going to say it cost me, let's say $21.65. It was in that ballpark. It was 21 and change. The Meg cost me like $19.50. So the Meg itself, just seeing the Meg in D-Box, was the cost of A-List. Meaning every movie I see after that is essentially free. I made my money back and then some. And that's really fucking cool. So I now get to see 12 to 15 movies a month. And I, as a person, like that because there were so many movies I wanted to see and just didn't have money for. I mean, what the fuck can you do? You know, I'm broke. No, don't break the glass, you diptard. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna get 12 movies this month, because there are that many Fridays. No. I'm gonna get 15, because there are that many Fridays plus this week. Hump, little piglets. Hump! Alright, so there's that. Get the cows. And fuck it, why not the sheep too? So, I never had the money. It's like, oh, I would love to have seen Justice League, whether it was good or bad, but the money wasn't there. Well, now the money's there. I take $20 out of my budget, and I get to see so many movies. To the point where it's just stupid not to do that. Why would I not? There's no reason not to. I mean, it's one thing to set aside, you know, $5 to see a movie on Tuesdays, or $8 to see a movie on the matinee, or $11 to see it normally, you know, before I discover what the matinee prices were, or the Stubs $5 Tuesday thing. That was one thing. This is $20, which is the cost of 4 movies on a Tuesday, or, you know, a lot more other things. And for those $20, I get just a damn near infinite return on my investment. I mean, let's say, for example, that next month all I see are D-Box movies. You know? And that might be the case. I think it's D-Box only for newer stuff. Or maybe it's just action movies. Then again, Jurassic World's kind of action-y, so who can say? I bet I know what the problem I think I know what's wrong. No. Perfect. But, so yeah, let's say that next month, October, I do nothing but watch D-Box movies. That means that I will be seeing 12 to 15 movies, and each one will basically be the cost of my thing, just reimbursed to me immediately. That's literally buy one, get a dozen or more free. And quite frankly, you're stupid if you don't think that's an awesome deal. You just have a criminal inability to do math, and I pity you. So, I did Pokemon this week, and I did reasonably well. I had a couple good battles. We had a fun battle with this one girl there. She made some really rookie mistakes, and a battle that should have been a curb stomp in her favor ended up being just me, straight out. You know? So that was fun. But next week's battle, or not next week, but yeah, I guess it is next week. Next week's tournament's a weird one. I don't know if any of us are really prepared for it, to be perfectly honest. I have my doubts. It's just weird. I even told the person, basically it's the team that you beat the Elite Four with. And I had to remind her that unlike previous games, it does not track every team you beat the Elite Four with, only the most recent one. So there is literally nothing stopping me from just coming up with an awesome team of 6 legendaries and saying, well, if you look, this is my Elite Four team. And I also pointed out that some people have not beaten the Elite Four. Either because they just haven't gotten that far in general, or because they just restarted their game, or whatever. So she's like, well, or, you know, the most recent trial team. I just don't think it's destined to work. It's neat in concept, but it's really sloppy in execution, and I don't see it ending well at all. But we'll give it a shot. Anyway, there are only 3 more weeks before my super tournament finishes taking shape, and I'm real excited. I'm just laying the groundwork. Also, speaking of tournaments, we got a Trek tournament! Yeah! I'm so excited. I'm so fucking pumped for this thing. It's gonna take place this Saturday, and the organizer basically put a message on the Facebook group and said, hey, the plan is Sunday. I don't know if he did it on accident or whatever, but it changed to Saturday by the time I talked to him again. He's like, yeah, the plan is for Sunday, this time, this is the tournament, etc. And it's like, if a different date or time works better for you guys, let me know. I basically told him, I'm game. The only way I would make it better is if you could get if it could end by a certain time so I could catch the last bus. So rather than starting at 7-ish when we normally start, where I'd be getting home at like midnight, he amended it to about 3 p.m., which means I get to take a bus there and a bus back, and I'm so pumped. Because that means I get to break out the big-ass jewelry case. For those who don't know, when I lived at the apartments with my niece and my roommate John, my niece had this jewelry case. And it was just this big metal box, and when she moved out, she did not take a lot of her shit with her, and one of the shit that she did not take with her was that. And I promptly stole the fuck out of it. Because I'm one of those people who doesn't throw shit away and will find uses for shit. And in this case, I damn sure found a use for that. I used it for my hero clicks. And as you may know, I've retired from clicks, but I still play miniatures games, so now it is my Star Trek case until further notice. The problem with it is I don't get to use it very often because it is large and unwieldy. I tried once upon a time to take it on a bike, and it's just too heavy and clunky to put on handlebars. So I tried a big-ass cloth bag, and it ripped. It ripped very much. There we go. New chicken. I'm about to say, why didn't you breed? But you did breed. Alright, I need some cows. I need some volunteer cows. That's one volunteer. Next. Anyone else? I need to call the herd. Come on. Come on, babies. Who wants to volunteer? I specifically need cows. Fine then, I'm coming in there. Why do I need cows? Leather. And, oh sure, one more. Thank you for your sacrifice. But, it was mentioned that we don't have a lot of heavy players, so try not to play anything super competitive. And I actually didn't have anything super competitive this time around. I had something fun. Fun for me. I basically asked, could I run Deep Space Nine, because there's a build I wanted to play. And Betsy's having a blast over there playing with my quill. Which, hey, if she wants to play with it, more power to her. She doesn't play nearly enough. And it's good for her to play. But anyway, I was referring to it, to my friend with it as Cheese Space 9. Or the Giant Double Wheel of Death. Basically, there is a build that I'm going to play that is, quite frankly, bullshit. And I so look forward to enacting it. But this bullshit build is, well, first off, let's get an axe. Just so I can stop having things fall into that space. But the bullshit build is, oh, that is the feed the pets alarm. That is literally what that is. But, the first stage of the bullshit build is the Ferengi Photon Torpedo, which is 2 points. The attack is equal to... let's do this one first. The attack stat is equal to the base attack of the ship it's equipped on. So, in this case, that would be 5. Which 5 is a good primary weapon stat. So, it's got a primary weapon of 5. Deep Space Nine has a 360 arc for the ring for its phasers. But phasers only fire at a range 2. Meanwhile, the pylons have the typical, cone arc and can fire only secondary weapons, which a photon torpedo is. I'm pretty sure photons can also fire out of the main arc. I'll have to look it up. DS9 does have its own special rule card, and I will be scanning those. But the other quirk about the phasers, or the photons, is they take not 3, but 2 time tokens and do not disable. So, time tokens come off at the end of the turn. So, I fire it, place 2 time tokens. At the end of the turn, I take 1 off, so I have 1 left. And to the next turn, I take 1 off, so I have 0 left, which means I can fire it again. Well then, I also enact an auxiliary power token just for firing. I don't get it, my opponent does, just for being shot at. So I use Quark, who is 2 points, as well, and he smuggles on Arsenal, which is a Federation device that says if I fire a weapon that uses time tokens, I put a time token on this and the rest on the weapon. Well, that means one on the token, or one on the Arsenal, one on the photon, which means they both clear at the end of the turn. I can fire this fucker every time. Photons also usually require a target lock. The Ferengi torpedo does not, so if I have a target lock, I can spend it to make more damage instead of just to fire. And I round it out with a captain called Lurin, who makes all Ferengi cost 1 less. All Ferengi things. So that torpedo costs 1 and Quark costs 1. Lurin himself is 5 points. Because of DS9's cost, 44 points. Anything 44 points or up that is just the ship gets an additional, or gets 8 points of upgrade you can put on it. So it can go, I can go to 52. Well, Lurin is 5 of those, Quark is 1, Photon is 1. The last one is Chemosite, which I can get rid of it to add 1 hit to my damage, which I can do that once because I can buy it back once. But specifically what it allows me to do is I get to add 2 to the speed of any maneuver I choose. As long as the template exists. I cannot do a 6 bank, I cannot do a 5 sharp turn, because there is no template for those. And Deep Space Nine is not very mobile, that's one of its flaws. It can move 0, making it one of the very few ships in the game that can do that. I think there's only like 1, maybe 2 others, if there are any others at all. So DS9 can be stationary, it doesn't have to go anywhere. It can move 1 as a white maneuver. It can also turn as a green, or double turn as a white. And it can move 2 as an auxiliary move, as a straining move. Well, with Chemosite, I can now move 3 as a white maneuver, or 4 as a strain, meaning I can move as quickly as other starships. As all but the fastest starships. And when you couple that with the Ferengi torpedo, shit's gonna get ugly. And that's gonna be fun. For me. And I backed it up with Lurin's Bird of Prey, which is a Klingon bird of prey, which is kind of cool. And Gauss's Marauder, which is just a Ferengi Takora class. They're both good, especially the builds I have, but none of them are broken. Like, I left a lot of my really nasty Klingon shit aside. You know, I also didn't load up my super unhittable NX class. So it'll be an interesting playthrough. I probably won't be allowed to use DS9 ever again, but hey, this is the first time I've used it outside of casual play, and I paid $50 for the goddamn thing. I also paid $50 for the goddamn Super Cube that I will never use in a tournament. Because I can't. It's literally tournament illegal. It's like 86 points for that fucking cube. It's stupid. And it didn't even come with anything. And when I mentioned that I paid $50 for those things, they typically cost $100. I was on Amazon and found a deal on them. You know, I found a deal for like, basically pay for one, get the other one for free. You know, they came as a package deal. So I pity the poor saps out there who spent $100 on that cube and can't do shit with it. Because unless you have other Borg shit, you're just playing that thing with Locutus on it. And Locutus isn't that good. I mean, he's a good captain for the Borg, but he's not that good. He's not play it by himself good. So, even getting to use Deep Space Nine once in a tournament, especially if it wins for me, that's great. And in this case, I'd be winning store credit, which is even better, because typically these store credits tend to be something along the lines of like $15 if I win. Which means that I will not have to pay for my next 3 tournaments. Or I could just pick up a ship. You know, either or. Both are perfectly valid reasons. And hell, even coming in second tends to be like 10 to 12 in store credit. You know, get a bag of chips, 2 tournaments, buy a ship. You know. So, yeah, the new Pokemon download card on Latios and Latios has been released. I got my 2 on release day, which was the 2nd. And I now have my Latios and my Mega Latios ready. For those wondering why they're both Latios when I have 2, it's because I already had 2 Latios. I had a normal and a Mega. And I've never particularly cared for Latios over Latios. I like her, she's cute. And the red just looks better than the blue anyway, so. But, so yeah, that's a thing I've got. They're at Best Buy for some goddamn reason. I mean, nothing against Best Buy, but all the other releases with one stupid, glaring exception. All the other releases were GameStop and Target. And now all of a sudden, Best Buy. Okay, that makes no sense. On the plus side, Best Buy is relatively close to me. Not by bike, but I literally just walk out my door, hop on the 20, and ride it to the mall, and there I am. Only problem is, I'm pretty sure the 20 runs hourly, so... And the 20 doesn't really have a go-both-ways thing. That stop at the mall is literally the final stop of the 20, so I have to wait for the next 20 to roll up. The next 20 going to the mall to roll up. So, that could take as long as an hour. But, I can get multiple cards while I'm there, so... I had 5 when I showed up this time. So hopefully... I actually skipped today because I had a lot to do. God damn it. Oh, that's why. I'm like, normally it doesn't take this long. Because I'm not using my X. There we go. But, I didn't go today, but I'll go the next few days and just get multiples so that when I show up, everyone can have as many as they need. I also have to make it a point to get to GameStop later. And just pick that up. See if they've got any left of the Groudon Kyogre. Get up to Largo Mall at least once, see if they have any of those and the Tornadus Thundurus ones left. And no more Zygardes. I'm done with Zygardes. I am going to have to get on my Pokemon Moon game soon and delete it and just so many fucking Zygardes that I'm going to have to redeem myself. This is going to be one big colossal pain in the goddamn ass. But we're going to call it here. I think I've covered most of the major stuff. I got my card back. I got my AMC A-list. I got my what's the fuck, got several new games for the PlayStations, the 3 and the 4. Not shit that I'll play necessarily, damn sure not stuff I'll let's play, but interesting games at least. Destiny 2 I have now, and God of War 3 Remastered or some shit. I'm not a fan of the God of War games. I'm not gonna really do much with them. But they're interesting, and it came to like $119 of shit. And that doesn't even count the multiple versions of some games. Like, I had 2 versions of one game. One was PS3, one was PS4. And I had 3 of another. One was PS3, one was PS4, one was the Vita. So I probably got away with like $160 worth of games. For free. So, yay. But, yeah, that's what it is. We're gonna call it here. Also, as a parting shot, I've been playing a lot of Neverwinter Nights too. I finally got the hang of the fucking camera. I'm having fun. It's fun. Also, don't expect to see this on my channel anytime soon. But I've been thinking a lot lately about how I've always wanted to do stand-up, but I can never do a set. That's the main thing stopping me. I mean, I don't even think stage fright would necessarily be the thing that slows me down. Just the fact that my particular brand of humor doesn't lend itself to rehearsed or pre-written jokes. But what I'm going to try and do is later on, I'm going to basically do a set. I'm going to hit record. I've got the bones of a set in my head, and we're going to see if I can put on like a 10-15 minute show. Because, you know, when you watch comics, on big compilations like the HBO Young Comedian Specials and whatever, where there's multiple comedians, they tend to do anywhere from a 5 to a 15-minute set. So if I can put on a 10 to 15, I've got the makings of something. And I'm going to show that off to my friends. If there's enough demand for it in the comments section, I might give a particular link, because it's going to be unlisted. Basically, if you know me personally, or if you ask me personally, once it's up, I might link it to you, and feedback is muchly appreciated if and when it goes up. And if it gets enough, positive reviews from people that I like and listen to, then it might make it to my main channel, and it might become a thing. But for now, that's just something I'm going to do to pass the time. But bye, everybody.